Welcome to OnBoard with Amplify, the podcast that brings you behind the scenes of the thoroughbred racing world. Whether you're brand new or a lifelong fan, we're here to onboard you into the industry, introducing the people, places, and processes that keep it running. And with every episode, you're welcome on board for the journey with us, traveling to experience the sport from the inside out. Today, the Amplify team is heading to the Kentucky Horse Racing and Gaming Corporation licensing office at Red Mile Gaming and Racing to learn about getting a racing license. But why do you need a license to work in horse racing? Anyone who earns income at the racetrack, from trainers to jockeys, grooms, and even horse owners, has to be licensed. Horse racing is a highly regulated industry, in part because of the betting nature of the sport. So everyone earning money at the track must be licensed so officials know who's involved and can ensure the sport stays fair.
Hi guys, this is Mary Courtney and today we're at the Red Mile Racetrack and I'm here with George Hayden, Director of Licensing, and today we're going to learn about getting licensed on the track. George, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and how you got here?
Well, I come from the horse industry. I come from a different breed. I come from the saddlebred world. And I've been here since July of 2014. And so I've been licensing ever since.
Wow. And so can you tell us a little bit about a license and why someone would need a license on the track?
Well, in both thoroughbred and standardbred, because we have parimutuel wagering on the tracks in Kentucky, everyone who works on a track or owns a horse or is any connection to the track, they have to be licensed in the state of Kentucky. So it's all regulated, and so that's how it works.
So what roles on the track need to have a license?
99% of anyone getting an income off the racetrack is going to be licensed.
Okay.
So that can be anywhere from the service staff of a facility. Let's just use Keeneland for instance. It would be anybody that works for Keeneland Hospitality or Keeneland Association. All of those employees will be licensed. Also on top of that, all owners, trainers, jockeys, they'll all be licensed, exercise riders, stable employees. And then in the other avenue, all owners. So anybody who is getting an income of any sort off of a racetrack will be licensed.
And are there any licensed positions that need extra credentials, and how would they go about getting those?
I wouldn't call them extra credentials, but they have to come through the door when they apply for a license with the right credentials in hand to receive a license.
Okay.
So if you're an exercise rider, two things. If you're an existing exercise rider, you'll also still need the outrider of the said track to sign off on you before we go forward with that. So, and if you've never been an exercise rider, you start at the track level with the outrider.
Okay. And can you talk us through the application? I have an application right here. Can you talk us through this process? So you start by filling this out, and what's next?
Yeah, so when you come to see us or any of the people that do licensing, this will be the first thing that you'll need to fill out. You'll also have to bring an ID, and it can be a driver's license, your passport, or an existing track license from another jurisdiction. So you bring that in, you fill this out. It has all the categories of licenses here, and then it has all the questions that need to be answered. If you came to me without ID, you're going to be turned away. If you come to me without the right credentials, hopefully you're still going to be turned away. We also have categories such as vendors. We do a lot for HHR, the historical racing. They also come through our office, but they come through a different way. Those people hardly ever come to an office. We only accept those through their HR departments, and they come through the mail, and that's how we license those, because all of those people are also on the track, and they will get licensed as well.
So for example, if I wanted to get licensed as an exercise rider, I have to bring in my signed off credential from an outrider on the track.
Yes.
And then I fill out the application, and then what happens after that?
On the back of this application, there is an area to be signed off on by the outrider. And the outrider is truly the policeman before they get to us to know that that's what we're doing. And then once they do that, we'll continue on. But yeah, it is a process.
Can you tell us a little bit about what access a license gives you? Does a licensed vendor employee has the same access as a licensed owner?
That would be obviously no. A licensed owner pretty much has free reign to go and come on the track as they want, and they can also get to the paddock area.
Okay.
Whereas a vendor has access to probably, it depends on what vendors they are, but if they're selling tack or feed supplements, backside type thing, they're probably not going to be able to access the grandstands or food venues, things like that. So depending on what title is on those badges, it depends on where you get access to.
So the thoroughbred fees, licensing fees, and the standardbred licensing fees are different. Can you talk to us a little bit about why that is?
Why are there different prices between thoroughbred and standardbred licenses? To provide some context, thoroughbreds and standardbreds are the two main racing horse breeds in American racing, but they vastly differ in populations. On an annual basis, around 17,000 thoroughbred foals and roughly 10,000 standardbred foals are born and registered, so the licensing structure for standardbreds reflects a smaller industry. A fun fact is that the Red Mile, the racetrack we're at today, is one of the most historic standardbred tracks in the country. Both breeds contribute to the diversity of horse racing, and both rely on licensing systems to keep the sport safe and regulated.
So as I'm filling out this license, can you talk about what age you have to be to get a license?
16 years old.
And why is that the age?
It's in the statute.
Statute is another word for law, and each state's racing commission enforces these laws to protect safety, integrity, and fair play in the sport. Requiring everyone to be licensed is part of how people working in the sport are held accountable for their actions.
Now we're here with Travers Manley, the Senior Vice President of Gaming and Media Relations. Travers, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this role?
Yeah, sure. So, lifelong Kentuckian and lifelong fan of horse racing. I went to UK and graduated from the Equine Science and Management program. I worked at a racetrack for a couple of years after that, and then went to law school and practiced law in Lexington for about 6 years. And then I went to Kentucky Horse Racing Commission, and I was Deputy General Counsel a short time as Interim General Counsel, and then moved into this role in December.
What is the Kentucky Horse Racing and Gaming Corporation, and why are you in charge of licensing?
So the Kentucky Horse Racing and Gaming Corporation was established in 2024. It was created by the General Assembly, and we are the regulatory body responsible for the oversight of horse racing, parimutuel wagering, charitable gaming, sports wagering, and breed development and integrity in Kentucky.
And for anyone who doesn't know, can you explain what parimutuel wagering is?
Parimutuel wagering is a form of wagering that is on horse racing. It's on our live and our historical horse racing, which is basically, it's different than a fixed odds system of wagering where you're playing against the house. In a parimutuel system of wagering, you are essentially betting against the other customers. There's a commission that's taken, basically all of the bets are pulled together. There's a commission taken by the racetrack, and then the remaining money is divided among the winners.
Why is Kentucky's license only for 1 year, whereas states like Arkansas are 1 to 3 years?
So the 1 year license term is established in our statute. So that is, it's 1 year per law.
And so why isn't there uniform licensing across all the states?
Every state has different requirements of what they ask for as far as the licensing application, the different requirements. Everybody has different regulatory standards, different statutes. There's different forms of gaming and racing in states. Not every state has thoroughbred, standardbred, quarter horse racing. Not every state has historical horse racing. So everybody's structure is a little bit different, and so each has its own licensing requirements and licensing structure as well.
We're here with Brittany in the licensing office, and she is going to process my application.
Thanks for watching this mini episode of On Board with Amplify. You can catch the video version on Amplify's YouTube channel or listen on your favorite podcast platform like Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review to help more people discover our content. And for more educational content, stories, and industry insights, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X, or visit amplifyhorseracing.org. We'll see you next time on Board with Amplify.
You're a badge.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Bagel, bagel.